And right now, I'm struggling. I'm trying to do a
Whoops.
lady.
Okay, I did a whoops. Okay, hold on just a second. I gotta get this higher. Okay, are we there? Because this is gonna come anyway. All right. Hi and welcome. We have a full room. This is good. Before I introduce our guest demonstrators, I just have a couple of housekeeping. We have the sign up, the refreshment sign up form that's gonna go around, and I want you guys to sign your name on it somewhere, okay? Because Sue's having nightmares that it's not gonna get filled. And we gotta get this thing filled up, okay? So I'm gonna pass this around, okay? So here I go. Annabelle, I'm gonna start with you.
Oh, I'll have to second.
So find a date and sign it, okay? Also, one other thing, the liability sign-off sheet for the senior center. It has to be signed once a year by all of us who attend here. And so even if you signed up last year, you've got to sign up again this year. Is there anybody in the room that has not signed the liability form? If you just raise your hand, Sue will come and deliver the paper.
Okay, I have it here.
Okay. Okay, and Sue, you want to raise your hand? There you go. Okay, Sue gotcha. Okay, it's just, it's crossing our T's and dotting our I's, right?
Anybody else? Yeah, thank you.
And Carolyn, oh, God love you. Turn off your cell phones. That's from Carolyn, that's not from me. I'm not mean like that, Carolyn is. Okay? All right, okay, so now I'd like to introduce our guest demonstrators, which is a husband and wife team for a total of 50, well, together, but they're the same. Anyway, 56 years married. Isn't that cool? That's cool. That is cool. Okay. Sid and Donine Wellman. And they are full-time artists with many gallery shows. Primarily, they love the Mac. They've been at the Mac since Rancho Cordova was incorporated as a city, and many galleries around in the Sacramento area. Sid is a professional visual artist showing and selling in Sacramento and Bay Area and international. Portugal has got a piece of his, and receiving multiple awards and commissions. Donnie is a graphic designer and takes an empty canvas, and the piece speaks to her, and it takes on a life of its own, and you can see the life that she creates. With digital art becoming more accepted, Donnie creates digital collages. So without further ado, Donnie and Sid Wellman. And, okay, I have further ado. Shoot. Okay, now I don't. Okay.
Well, today primarily we're going to talk about public art, but we wanted to share our journey in our art of how we got there. So first we're going to have a pictorial journey that you can, on your papers there, it has what the media is, what makes up the art, but also as we go through them, we're going to explain a little bit about them.
Good evening, or afternoon. We're artists, not public speakers, so be kind. This first piece here was done in the mid-70s called Long Shot. It was one of my first careers, was a custom motorcycle, car builder, race boats, race cars, and a number of other projects. And so, we'll skip on here. This is another one we did at the same time called Pinball Wizard. We did these, they are not for the street, obviously, it was just for show. We got paid a commission to have these in the Autorama. And at the time, it was a lot of fun. It's hard to read this and do this at the same time.
And I'm going to just interject something here. You guys are very used to seeing those kind of custom painted motorcycles and vehicles, but when he was doing this in the mid-70s, that was the beginning of it. Think back, and it wasn't happening before that. So this is what you just saw in those last two slides was beyond cutting edge at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, this was before the internet, for anything like that. Go back here. Like this one here had a what do you call it, drag slick on the back. That was only for the drags. We put it on the bike for the street. It had an enclosed fairing on the front. They didn't do that. This thing was about over 12 feet long, I believe, and it was just for show. It was hard to turn. Obviously, it was just for looks and for a promotion for our business. We partnered with another business that also did the same thing. And so one year they would build something to advertise for their business, and we'd help, we'd paint, we'd do the body work. The next year we would do something for our business, and so we have a half a dozen of these crazy things over the years. And so this was, that there was it's an Indy tire in the back. It has a Honda motor underneath there. It's aluminum body. It's a reverse three-wheeler, obviously, 2 wheels in the front and 1 in the back. It was pretty strange at the time. This is one of the first.
Sid, can I ask, are they
Yes.
still around? Do you know?
Those two, I don't know where they ended up. We sold them to a couple of show promoters back then in the mid-70s. We did another one called Intrepid. It's on our website for the other company, but we painted it. And it was one of the first, we painted in my partner's one-car garage with his mother's dryer door propped open as the heater during the winter. It was in a museum back in, I believe, Oklahoma. A couple years back, I seen it, and somebody was talking about taking it and repainting it, so I think after that, it's probably pretty much gone. But the other ones, I don't have a clue where they got to. I've looked, but. This piece was done for I used to get invited to what they call dog and cat shows. It was a benefit for the animal shelters that partnered with the art galleries. And so this was cut out on board, and you can see that I'm sort of a whimsical kind of guy. This is another dog and cat show. This was actually the man and dog. I don't do things normal. These are sculptures. None of us do. It was called a tree house. It was just a paint. Yes, ma'am.
This is how we started our This is how we started our journey. We traveled around and looked in all the galleries and saw what was going on, and then, you know, got to talking to some of the owners, and then we got into some actually, but we started with the dog and cat shows, and that's what he's always wanted to be a cartoonist, so that was his forte, you know, dogs and cats and whimsy.
Yeah, when we first started out, I wanted to get into galleries, but I didn't have a big portfolio. I didn't have any portfolio. And so I didn't have enough art to even do a solo show or whatever. So we kept getting invited to group shows. And the group shows, you could put in 1 or 2 pieces. And so over the years, I ended up with this eclectic group because they was all different themes. But every year, almost every year, they would have this benefit at the end in December for the dog and cat shows. And so that was sort of kept me in the groove. And so over the years, I have all kinds of crazy art, and I didn't have a style then, but it sort of grew into the very bright colors, and now I'm doing very shiny work. So it was sort of evolved as I went. I don't remember what this show theme was, but it was also resin coated. This one here is a fairly recent piece, last 5 years, called Monday Morning Commute. Those are baby moon hubcaps off of old cars. They were cut out and popped in there. So this was at the fair, state fair a number of years ago. I think I got a award for it. But when we went and picked it up, they had fingerprints all over from the kids going up and touching it and making funny faces and taking pictures, and it was just really bugged. That is a silo, barn silo, and that's a different technique that I did a few of them, but just didn't seem like me. This is these here is along this size here. Each of the hearts are cut out and suspended in front. They're separate pieces. It's the same thing. It's a panel, a 2020 panel like that. This piece here is done, cut out and painted separately, and then bolted to it. These are resin coated, which all of my paint is I paint with acrylic paint, and in the latter years I've been using epoxy resin clear coat that really gives them the shine. And that comes from when right after high school, me and my neighbor started a business together and started doing the custom cars and motorcycles and boats and designing and building stuff. We were known for our bright, shiny, bright colors and very shiny clear. That was one thing that drew people in. So over the years, I've tried to get that, but only until lately, since we've had the resin clear coats available to artists, I finally got back to where I've been trying to get for years. Painting on canvas and trying to get straight lines and make it really shiny was never, I never was happy with it until I got into this niche here. And it was like a crazy journey. This is Donine.
Okay, this is where I started in my art journey. I went to YouTube University, learned how to, found some guy named Bozo, I don't know, I guess that was his handle, but he showed how to make texture with plaster, and I'm all about texture. You can tell I'm the grunge texture, and he's the smooth, whimsical, bright colors. So I learned how to stamp the plaster and color it, and that was my first kind of start in art. But I did some dog and cats.
Yeah, she did a dog and cat, and was one of the first ones like this technique too, for the Addison Gallery.
And you can see that I like texture, so this one, it's hard to tell what it is, but it's collage also with a picture of Venice on there, and it's a stream, and then it has gold leaf on the bottom. It looks very nice in person.
It has texture like this as well.
Yeah, it has the texture on it. That's kind of my thing, texture.
Donnie?
Yeah.
Is it canvas? Are you putting it on canvas
Yes.
or board?
These are canvas. I started on canvas.
Okay.
And then recently I went to panel because it's really easy, flat surface, and really easy to work on. So yeah, this one was canvas. This one was actually canvas, a diptych, or however you say that word, a 2-panel, and you can tell it has the cardboard on it, the plaster, which is really cool if you put it through a stencil. You put your plaster through the stencil, and then
It was also a photo that she took in Venice that she transferred to that.
yeah,
Very large piece.
The picture itself is printed on tissue paper, and then I glued it on there. Yeah. So, wait, go back for a second. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, this piece was in the State Fair. That's a venue that you can get your art recognized and your name out there. Go to the State Fair and enter your art. And it won an award there, so I was happy about that. And here's another one similar, with the plaster on the background, plaster through a stencil, collage pieces on tissue paper, and the cardboard, and that's pretty much my style. Now this was a departure. This was digital art on to be printed on metal, and when you print your art on metal, it's incredible because it's so shiny. Actually, this piece right here, we did a big, huge piece for a wrap, and then I just cut out part of the picture and put it on a smaller shape for a metal art. And here's a digital art collage with all kinds of stuff on it, music, different clip arts and things.
It's printed on metal.
Printed on metal.
What program do you use for your digital art?
Photoshop. Yeah. And here's another digital art piece. Sisterhood, it's called. Oh, and then I love to experiment, and everybody asked you, what is your, what is it? I can't think of the word right now. Well, anyway, what is your?
Medium?
No.
No.
What is your?
Style, genre, medium,
Sorry.
yeah.
Inspiration.
Oh, I was about to say nemesis, but there you go.
That's the big word. Inspiration. Okay, everybody asks you that. What was your inspiration? My inspiration is Pinterest. I love to look at everybody's art and see what they're doing, but this actually I learned how to do on YouTube. So I just love the pours. They just come out so unique, and you never know what to expect. You probably know how to do it, but you just put your paint in a cup and you just pour it on there, and then you blow it out, and either by hand or with a hair dryer, and it just makes this fabulous art. So I did a few of those, and I sold them all at one art show. So this is another pour I did. Daisy, it's called Daisy something. And here's another one. I can't remember the names of them. There's so many names. But this was something about fire river or something. Okay, then this one is a negative space painting, where you paint your picture and your pattern on there, and then you negative space around it. You paint around it to make a picture. So that was fun. This is one of my newer works. This has all kinds of things in it. It has tea bags, coffee filters, avocado ink that I made myself. It has paper in it. It has that gauze material, music score in it. It's a big collage. This one, you want to explain this one?
This is called Two Peas in a Pod, and we found out about a show at Blue Line that they had, forgot what it was called, but they usually did totem show. And so I asked if I could be in, and I said, I'm not really doing the kind of totems that you do, but we got into it, and it sold right away. It's hollow, it's made of wood, and then painted sort of grungy, but it has resin on all sides of it, made it real shiny, and it was a real plus. But we had this also in the state fair, and it's sold in the state fair.
What are the dimensions?
Yes, that's a collaboration between us. The dimensions are about as tall as I am. I don't remember the exact, I'd have to look on the website. Once I do these things, I forget, whoops. Uh-oh.
Let me come around and get you back on full screen. You know, you breathe wrong around electronics and that's it. Ta-da.
Oh, you are a miracle worker.
It's about 5 feet by 3 feet, about a foot thick on the stand, and it was made of wood with these steel reinforced rods through it to hold it together. So I made it so it could come apart in separate pieces. This is another one. These are all individually made boxes, or just wood covered with veneer, and then it's a joint piece between us, collaboration. And I usually engineer these things, and then I tell her, I said, I want you to paint it. So we sort of join in together and come up with whatever we come up with, which is usually unique between the two of us. So this one all is separate pieces that were bolted together through, there's a actual metal rod that goes up to the top. It's called a blockhead.
Block party.
Block party, excuse me.
That one I remember.
This is yours.
Okay, now we're coming into the public art. And this was a piece I did, and it went to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And it's a bus stop wrap. So those you do digitally, and you send them the file, and then they make the wrap and install them. So that was very fun because it was a depressed area that it went to, and I kind of wanted to lift people up and encourage them and make them happy. So they liked the art, and they chose mine. So yay! We've done tons of utility boxes. This one's across from the golden one, and we've done them throughout Sacramento, Rancho Cordova.
Are they wrapped or do you actually paint them?
Most of them are wrapped. This one was actually painted. I think it's one of the first ones we did. We had to travel to Woodland. It was during the beginning of the year. It was cold and rainy. So we had to actually travel there, set up our stuff, try to make a little tent over it, and paint with watercolor paint or water-based paint before it rained. And it's quite a challenge, but we survived.
Wow, that's great. Right.
Oh, okay. We were told that the city, the police, everything knew about what we were doing. So in case somebody questioned us, that we did have permission to do this. But nevertheless, an officer pulled over, parked. He gets out and comes over and wants to know what we're doing. I told him we're doing this, and he asked me, what's the difference between this and graffiti? And I said, well, we're getting paid for it.
You must have been an art connoisseur.
This is a train wrap I did. It started out on a board to size, but I mean smaller, but oh, this is part of
the
it.
original.
Part of the original, but the first one I did was this type right here, and they said it'll make our train look dirty, so So they wanted something happier and cheerier, so ended up with this, and they liked that one. So, you know, sometimes in public art, they have an idea of what they want, and so that's what you go by. And you have to be a little bit flexible.
Where is that train?
It goes all around like Folsom
So in
and
Sacramento area?
Downtown Sacramento.
downtown.
And is that still? When did you do that? What year?
2019.
Thank you.
Oh,
Is that part of regional transit?
Uh-huh.
wow.
They just now started changing their trains, so I don't know if they're doing away with those, but someone saw it recently, so I think some of those are still up and running.
That's amazing.
We had, went to the dinner with her parents and her sister and brother for somebody's birthday. And this was right after she did it, and I really wanted to do one of those. I was really envious because it came out really nice. Her brother leads the class, he says, "So what are you gonna do to top that?"
And that's just a picture of that one.
This used to be longer. We cut it.
Yeah, I
pieces.
just made it into an art piece since they didn't, you know, choose it. I can use it any way I want, so I made it into an art piece. That was gonna be the Here Comes the Train, but it's not.
So this is one of, it's actually the second public art piece that we did, or third piece, in 2019. We did this one, she did the train, and we did another one that we'll show you here. It all kind of overlapped each other. Originally, I was supposed to paint a mural. I bid on painting a mural, and I was going to paint it on tin because I didn't want to stand out in the street and try to paint on brick. It's just something I don't do. And I got a call from one of the engineers that said, "What do you think about doing it in ceramic?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He said, "I don't know, but what about it?" You know, so I almost said no, but I said, "I'll get back to you." So anyway, I found a place. My artwork was digital, so I was just going to blow it up and repaint it and tape it off and do it by hand like I did on motorcycles and cars. But was able to take the file and send it to a place that actually printed it on tile and kiln fired. And then it was in Florida. That was another trial that we had to go through because it took months to get it in the loop. And then when it's finally done, it was due to be shipped out on Monday. I think it was like a Thursday or Friday that he called and said it was going to be shipped out on Monday. And that was when Florida was hit with Hurricane Katrina. And the hurricane went right down the center of the state, right over top of them. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, you know. So we prayed a lot. And so a couple of days later, I called him up to see how he was doing, and he said that the hurricane had went right over top of them. It destroyed everything on both sides, didn't touch their business, didn't touch any one of their employees, and that they would ship our thing out as soon as they cleared the roads and they could get a truck in. So it seems like we have obstacles to overcome.
And where is that? Did you say?
This is on Folsom Avenue.
Folsom.
It used to be, it's a representative of what they call Lincoln Highway. Lincoln Highway was the first road between New York, Times Square, and San Francisco Golden Gate. Back in 1913, they commissioned to make these roads to go coast to coast. Well, they were dirt roads. So that was when the cars had wooden wheels, and they would put all their belongings on it was like a wagon train only with a motor. And so that was one of the first roads that went from West Coast to East Coast. It actually went down Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova, which in turn turned into Highway 50, and then Highway 50 was built up and around. Highway 50, the freeway is right up almost over top of it right now. There used to be the Pony Express trail as well through there. And the city was having I think it was like 100-year centennial. It was a few years after the 100 years, but that was sort of the theme. And right close to Sunrise and Folsom Boulevard. I had received an email from a lady who we had showed at the gallery there, Tip Gallery in North Sac. She said that you should submit to this. And I read it, it was a mural. And I told her, I said, well, I sent her an email back, I said, well, I don't do murals, why did you send me this? And she says, she thought it would be, my work would be more fun than some of the other, so I went, oh, okay. So that's sort of led us into more public art. That was one of the bigger ones we did.
Do you ever worry about graffiti? That somebody would come and graffiti?
Well, yeah, this is pretty tough stuff, but yeah, we were concerned about that, but it's never been, our work has never been touched,
Never
as far as I
been.
know.
Good.
Yeah,
Very nice. Oh, it's great.
thank you.
That's graffiti coding.
Okay, this was another one in Rancho that was one of the ones that overlapped. They had a call for street mosaics. They had put a bunch of dividers in the street for where the kids cross in front of the school, elementary school. And in the middle dividers, they wanted to put this art. So you can see there's a curb here, and then the pink stuff is that's part of the city did, and then we filled in the spots. There was 6 different spots, and we got a friend of ours, Linda Nunes, sent us an email. She said she wanted to do this one, if we would, team up with her. I said no, but my wife and her was outnumbered me, so we ended up doing it. And this is more my piece. We did oceanography, history, and astronomy. And so hers was, Linda's was 3 different spots. 2 of them were planets, kind of, I don't know which planets they were now, but then one of them was what do they call it? It's for north, south, east, and west. They call it a rosebud
Compass.
or something like that. And then Donine did these 2 here. They're different across the street from each other, but they had the fish and the ocean and anything else you want to add?
We had never done mosaics before. So this was, well, they're all learning challenges, but it was really a fun project. It took us about 6 months to do it though. And I think in the second part, when I talk about the public art, it'll have some more detail in there.
So all these tiles here, well, the fish and stuff, we actually made those separate. And then when we first started it, like she said, we didn't know what we were going to do. So I started looking for tile to buy in different colors. And then we started taking the tools and try to score it and break it and chip it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. And so I come across this article of a lady who had what they call a slab roller. And you take a chunk of clay, you put it on the table, and this big wheel kind of steamrolls over, and it makes these big round pizzas. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay, it's in the back there with a big handle. And so I seen that, and I thought, well, okay, now we can cookie cut our pieces to pretty much what we want. And so I did my ships, I did this black line, and a lot of these colors here were just a big pizza that I rolled out, we glazed, and then we cut out later. We had a regular tile saw. I got industrial with this one, instead of trying to chip it little pieces by hand. I don't think we'd have ever finished it otherwise. We end up, I think we went through 18 blocks of clay, which was 300 and some pounds of clay that I smashed in with this slab roller. And we had, I don't know if any of you done clay, but you have to let it dry out. Once you get the piece that you want, you have to have it, it has most of the water out. Then you fire what they call bisque firing. It makes it semi-hard, and then you come back and you put your glaze on them. We had all kinds of crazy glaze. Some that had a texture, some were just shiny. we sort of went crazy with the glazes. And all this was overlapping with the other street, piece in Folsom Boulevard, the wall and her train. They all got thrown in the mix at the same time. Okay, this here is called Iron Cow, and we got a call from Frontier Lubricant. What's it called?
Frontier Performance Lubricant.
Yeah, it's a business in Woodland.
Galt.
Oh, my memory's not. Galt was having a city art call. They provided a whole lot of these fiberglass cows, and mostly they were taking the different groups who wanted to paint them up, and then they was going to have a big parade and a big promotion for the city. This outfit somehow found us and wanted us to do something off of Tony Stark's Iron Man. And so we went back and forth with some drawings, and I wanted this to be red, but they didn't want that bright. They wanted more silver. But on this, this is a hand-formed aluminum body. It has little knee pads that are aluminum, pop rivet together. This here in the front is like, I don't know if you watched the movies, there's a little light in Tony Stark's suit that glows, his power thing. Well, that actually, I put a light in there and a solar thing on top, so it actually works. And the wheels there, the gears, they wanted something with gears because they do lubrication. They sell all kinds of lubricant. And so we made those, we cast them in resin. They actually move, so if kids go up there and spin them, they actually work. It's kinetic. And the things on the back is supposed to be a jet pack, so we had to make those out of roll some aluminum and shape the bullets, and so it was quite a project. And they give us a deadline. It was like, I think we had less than 30 days to put that together. So, yeah. Oh, okay. This is more recent. These were, actually it's a dog gate, and there was 6 of them for Southgate Recreation Park. They had apparently had a park that had used these metal gates. They're as tall as I am, about 4.5 feet wide, and close to 300 pounds. They was left over from someplace, and they decided they wanted to build a dog park in their area, and they put these out to have whoever wanted to repaint them, and they wanted a dog theme, so that's where my cartoon background came in. We painted on both sides. They were so happy we had to buy a big gantry crane with electric motor to lift them up and spin them around. I built some tripods that would hold 2 of them with heavy duty wheels so you could roll them around. It was impossible to pick up. There's another one. There's 4 of them going to being delivered. And make 2 trips.
Before we go to the public art part, I just wanted to show you this one. This is not my, oh, I need my, this is not one of my best works probably, but I just wanted to show you this unique type of paint that I found. It's a heavy texture paint. It comes out of Florida. One of the artists there makes his own paint. So this paint can stand up like 3.5 inches and not fall down. It'll stay there. And you can even make it go over the edge of your panel or canvas, and it'll stay there like that. So it's really fun, but it's a challenge to make it look like something. So I've been working with that. I've been trying to make it look like something, but it's very fun to use. You can, it comes comes in big tubes, like about this and about like this. And it's not very expensive, but anyway, I'm trying to work with it and make it look like a picture and make it look like something. But it was just fun using the palette knife and trying to make flowers or whatever, and it's just fun stuff. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Does it come in all different colors?
It comes in some colors.
Okay, limited.
The gold is just gorgeous though.
You can add color to it, right?
And yeah, you add colors. What he does, what the artist does, he'll mix his paint, like he'll have a whole bunch of white on there and then put his regular paint on there and then swoop it over it so it's kind of mixed together, but not all the way mixed. And he does it like that, and then it does come in colors too, and he makes regular paint too, which is very reasonable and very nice colors. So I just want to share that.
Do you recall the name of the company?
Gaffrey, it's on the paper I gave you at the bottom.
See that right there, Gaffrey?
Gaffrey Art, and he's from Florida, so yeah. And then you want to show her.
Okay, I had some questions about how we do this. These are acrylic paint on panels. And some of the pieces I cut out and paint them separately. The whole thing is, the pieces are resin coated separately, panels resin coated, and then I glue them on. And it gives you sort of a, I don't know if you can see it, but it gives you a 3D, more depth. And it's just a regular wood panel. This is something I just, some of my later work.
And you just use a regular 2-part epoxy resin?
Yes, I use art resin, which I found is the best.
Doesn't yellow.
Yeah, it does.
And the cutouts, are they pieces of wood as well?
I use MDF for these. It's a very stable, fairly easy to machine, cut, sand, and it takes paint really well, other than wood. Wood is problematic sometimes.
Yeah. We're painting panels right now for the honeycomb project, and
Okay. Well,
many of
panels
us are
work
finding
good.
out.
The wood panels are okay, it's just when you get small pieces like that. This is another one, it's just a single surface, but it's resin coated as well, and it's painted with acrylic. We'll just finish this one. But I get a lot of compliments on this, this double layered work.
Yeah, it definitely caught my eye the first time I saw it. I think it's really extraordinary, Sid. It's very nice work.
Do you remember what company, this is, the panel, get the panels?
No, I don't.
He used to make his panels and they were so heavy, but these are so lightweight, it's just a joy. So we want to get into some of the public art, in case anybody's interested in breaking through to public art, what's involved in everything. So our journey to public art was, Sid had a lot of art classes in high school. That was all his electives, 7 classes. I don't know how he did that. But, you could tell that was in him. He wanted to do art. That was who he was. So, and then he took some classes in college, curator class, didn't you? With
Daryl Farney was a teacher.
Daryl Forney. He's pretty popular, not popular, but
Well, he's passed on now, but he was. Yeah, I took a art class at Sac State for gallery curation, and Daryl was a really nice guy, a really fun teacher, and Well, one time I was there, he put me in charge of the class, or there was nobody there, he put me in charge of the room because he was gonna have an art show. And,
Okay.
oh, I went blank.
I did too.
Let's come back to that. Let's think it's an artist that showed up that thought I was Daryl.
Some really
Um,
famous artist came in.
I'm sorry, I went totally blank
I
there.
know, I don't remember his
I'll
name.
come back.
Shall we start guessing?
Probably the most famous artist in Sacramento.
There's T-Ball and some other guy in
Yeah.
See, I was gonna guess T-ball, right?
okay, what's the other one? There's one more. Actually, he was there. They was gonna dedicate the gallery in Sac City College to him.
What kind of art does he do?
It was oil paintings. He did lots of rivers.
Condos.
Yes.
Gregory Condos.
Thank you.
Yay.
Anyway, he shows up and thought I was the teacher. Introduced himself and just started going on how he just had got married and all this stuff. And I'm just so, okay, you know. And then the teacher walked in and says, "Hi." And so I was like, "Oh, anyway."
Anyway, and then we went on to have careers in graphic design and printing. And then, like I said, we just started gallery hopping and checking out all the galleries. And then we started doing some street fairs. And, but nowadays we don't do too many street fairs because it's a lot of work. A lot of work. And then we started showing at the MAC and the City Hall there in Rancho Cordova. And then we ventured out into some public art. And you might, if you're just brand new, you might ask, where do you go for calls to artists? And most of ours we got from, it used to be called SMAC, but now it's called Arts and Culture for the City of Sacramento. And they have a website, and if you sign up for their mailing list, then you get all kinds of calls that they have. And Cafe is another one, Public Artist is another one. Curators that visit art shows, they'll, ask you to do a show sometimes. And there's one called Pacific Fine Arts for street fairs. And the California State Fair, like I said. And you could just Google call to artist and you'll find out all kinds of art calls. Most of them have eligibility requirements, which a lot of them are in our area, and so you can sit down for a minute. So the creative process and conceptualization. Okay, so we're gonna look at the street median. Can you put that back up? The three things we're gonna talk about is the street median, the RT train wrap, and the dog gates. And so this is what they asked. What was the inspiration behind these three public art projects that we are featuring today? Usually for the public art, the client has a vision in mind, such as the theme, and leaves the design and the materials up to the artist, but not always. The street median, the call was to create 6 street median mosaics to enhance the local elementary school and provide a safety barrier. The theme was to coincide with education, and we chose history, oceanography, and astronomy. So we got to choose that one. And then, we made a proposal, and then we had to go before city council and pitch our idea, and we got it, so that was fun. And the RT train wrap, there was no theme, but you had to just go through an approval process. And then I already told you they nixed my first design, but then they accepted the second one. On the dog parks, since it was a dog park, they wanted dog themes. How did the location influence the concept or design of your work? Well, the elementary school was the influence for the medians. The traveling of the RT train would influence the design. The title was Here Comes the Train. The shape of the dog park gates influenced our design on the dog park gates because it had that little part at the top and then two small things and then a little slice at the bottom. What materials and techniques did you use and why did you choose them? The city of Rancho Cordova requested mosaics for the street medians. We had never worked with the mosaics before, so we went to YouTube University and also talked to several mosaic artists on the technique. We handmade the tiles as well as used about 20% store-bought tiles, mostly glow-in-the-dark tile. We wanted that on there, but we never noticed, we were never there at night, so we don't know if that works or not. We made the designs on the tile by stamping and customizing the glazes. So, you know, we never did this before. You just gotta be brave and, okay, we'll try it, you know. And then you just learn along the way, so that's fun. Like Sid was saying, we bought a slab roller and the tile saw and all that. That's one really neat thing about public art projects is you get to use their money and buy things that you would never have the money to buy, like, you know, some art materials, some art tools and things like that. So that's one big perk out of public art. On the train, like I said, I made it on a big board first, and then Sid scanned it, and then he knit it together because it had to be several scans, and then we sent that digital art to the printer, and they made the wrap and they installed it on the train. For the dog gates, we used outdoor paint, Ronin paint, that's on your resource list. And we learned about that paint from doing the woodland utility box that we showed you, that we hand painted on there, because they supplied the paint. So that's how we found out about that Ronin paint. And it holds up very well outdoors, and it has a clear coat that goes with it too.
It's for outdoor sign painting is what it's made for.
It was for sign, made for sign painting, so.
It's water-based, so that made it nice too.
Yeah. How did you engage with the community during the planning or creation of this project? On the street medians, the elementary kids would come by every day and watch the progress of the installation and ask questions. They were also at the ribbon cutting that we had too. And we had an open studios right before the installation where we showed the visitors. One of the visitors was the mayor of Rancho Cordova, Linda Budge, the different stages of the mosaic making. So we had a little display, you know, we went from here to there, you know, and cut the clay and glazed it and all that. So that was fun for the people to see. And then for the RT train and the dog gates, there were ceremonies for those and ribbon cuttings too. So that's fun. It's just fun to be acknowledged for your work, and, you know, people enjoy it, so that's the best part. Number 3, challenges and practicalities. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced during these projects? Logistically or creatively? For the mosaics, we didn't know, being our first time of making mosaics, that there were 20% shrinkage in the clay. So that was fun. We're like, oh, it doesn't fit now. So we had to make some extra pieces for the sides and, you know, make a few pieces over in the middle and things like that, but it was fun. And when we made our pattern and cut our clay, there were several do-overs to make it fit. For the dog gates, we didn't know that they would weigh so much. We had no clue. So we had to go get them from a fence company that had prepped them for the job. And we had to buy a gantry, like Sid said, to lift them out of the trailer and make rolling easels to paint them on, which worked really well though for the delivery because they could be rolled up into the rental trailer and delivered that way. So that was a good thing. Were there any unexpected changes you had to make during the process? There's always some unexpected changes. You have to be flexible. Like Sid was saying, on the Lincoln wall, he was gonna do it in metal, and they're like, what do you think about putting it on, your art on tile, which we had never done before. So, but it was a fun experience to learn to do that, and we installed it right there on the street of Folsom Boulevard. Every day we had an audience of passerbys that honked their horns or gave us good comments, so that was very fun. Impact and reflection. What kind of response has your work received from the public? We've had nothing but kudos from the public, and there's nothing we would have done different on any of the projects. Do you think?
Hard to say.
We love to create and bring beauty and uplift the different neighborhoods. Looking ahead, are there any public spaces that we're particularly interested in working in next? Well, we're always on the lookout for new things. Sometimes we just try for things that we know that are way out of our league, you know, but if you don't, you know, try it, you won't get it. So we just put our hat in the ring, you know, for whatever looks interesting. And then just for the wrap up, when we retired, we wanted to do something together but not step on each other's toes, you know. So art was the perfect thing to do because, you know, we each have our own, you know, flavor and way to do things, but we've learned from each other different techniques, and sometimes the student becomes the teacher. But I think some of our best and most enjoyable work have been our collaborations. So, is there any questions? Yes?
I have a question. So when you see a call for art for this public spaces, does the client say, here's how much money we're going to pay you? Or do you put together a budget and a proposal and bring it to them and say it's going to cost you this much?
Good question. Yeah, they usually have a figure, but you have to make out a budget usually, and you have to show them where that money's going, you know, in general.
So you have to plan something that's going to stay within the budget unless you want to lose money.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's literally hundreds of cities that have public calls for art. What they've done, probably in the last 10, 20 years, is when they do a public space, they've passed an ordinance or whatever to give a certain 1 to 2% of the budget of a building or a freeway or whatever it is, it has to go for an artistic embellishment. And so then they say that they have the street or a wall or a building or in a room or whatever it is that they're you know, a library, whatever, and they'll state that they need the wall done or whatever, and they'll have whatever amount of money. It could be 5,000, could be 100,000, it could, you know, be airports or whatever they have. There's a lot of them, and so we've literally done hundreds of proposals, not necessarily a proposal, but we've thrown a resume at them, and some of the work that we've done and our intent of what we want to do. Now, if you get picked, then you have to go back and they'll say, okay, we want to see a budget. What's your intention? You might have to show them exactly what the painting or picture or mosaic or whatever you're going to do for them. You have to give them a concept so they can see what you're thinking. And then as far as the budget, they just want to make sure that you know what you're getting into, because it has a limit, and the limit's the limit. If you go over the limit, you don't get that money. So you have to make sure that you budget in your wages, if there's permits, if you have outside contract, insurance, you have to have insurance up to $1 million.
Tools.
You got to factor in all your tools, all your material, delivery, rentals, or you know, whatever it is that it's going to take to get that everything done. And sometimes you could just be the artist and go find a company that will do what you want it to do, and you just put your name on it. So they can build, you don't have to make everything. I'm for like more glutton for punishment. I like to get right in there and do it myself, but a lot of times I might have been better off just hiring somebody. Here's my idea, you do it, I'll put my name on it, and then, you know, you could go that way. So it's, but out of all the ones we've done, we've got very small percentage. There's probably, you know, dozens to hundreds of people that apply for each one of the public arts. But like I say, there's literally hundreds of them out there. They can be local, they can be far away, and you have to figure that out. If something's in Florida that you want to do, you got to figure out, well, if I'm going to fly there, if I'm going to take my stuff there, I got to ship it, I got to live there for a week or whatever to install it. You have to figure all that out. And some are limited to your area. So if you don't live in Florida and if it's not an open call, then you can't do it. But if it's an open call, international or whatever, then it's open field. But some of them do say that you need work that's relative to the budget that they have. And if you haven't done that, then that kind of throws you out. I've done ones that was over our head, but have thrown it in anyway, because you never know. Somebody says, well, let's give this guy a shot, you know. It's like anything. It's kind of when you want to go get a job, but you don't have the experience to get the job that they want you to do, but you got to do the experience to get, you know, it's which comes first. But you just got to start somewhere. And it does help to have a resume or a bunch of art that you've done for different galleries, or you know, you have some kind of collection that you can send them for your resume to show that you are an artist, in fact. So, but don't get defeated if you don't get chosen. You just got to keep going. And like she said, if you don't swing, you can't hit the ball. So. Anything else?
Any other questions?
That's it.
Thank you. I had no idea. That's art at another level, a whole nother level. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you both for sharing. Wow. Okay, we're going to take a break. And let's go ahead and take 15 minutes. So we're back here at, what is it, 3:50, okay? All right. Okay, I guess it was on. I guess I turned it off. I don't know. But hey, hi guys. Hi, we're back again. Okay, we have some announcements that we have some fun things to do. I just have to get my notes to find the fun things. Okay, so the challenge, I think we'll wait and do the challenge at the end, okay?
That way they have to listen first. And that's also a challenge for many of you.
It's a challenge to listen with your eyes, no. And so we'll do the challenge before we do the drawing for 2 bouquets. We have 2 bouquets. Is that from you, Donna?
One.
One?
Yes, and one's from Carolyn.
Caroline.
Do something with all those flowers in my yard.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we're going to have guest speakers, okay? First of all, I just kind of wanted to sum up the member show. It was a resounding success. Who here entered the member show at the Government Center? Okay.
Who got a first place ribbon?
Oh, who got a first place ribbon, Linnell? Oh, Linnell, yeah. Aren't they fun? Those shows are so much fun. The weather, you guys went through that stormy weather, so I doff my hat to you. I was sort of in San Diego, so I wasn't here.
She tried to drive her truck into Mission Bay.
Oh God, it was horrible. The brakes failed on our truck. We ended up 2 feet from the water. It was not a good trip, not a good trip at all. Thank you for mentioning. But there were 105 entries. Carolyn's shaking her head because she doesn't know. She says maybe 102, maybe 103. I said, but I like 105.
No, it's 105 is correct.
Because, see, Linnell told me. Yeah, I remember.
It's not something I keep in my head.
I have the database,
Thank you.
Yeah.
and it's
And
not
then-
just in my head.
Yeah.
And then you tell me, and I remember. Okay.
I think it was 38 artists, but that I'm not 100% sure about. It's
Okay.
either 36 or 38.
Okay. I'm going to bring Matt up. Matt, it's your turn to be up here. Matt's going to talk about the studio tour.
Just 1 minute to remind you that we have this studio tour in September. We have at this time 8 studios and 25, maybe 26 artists that have signed up. And we are still open for applications to join us. I know Patty here has a beautiful area that is open for other artists to join her. It's right off of Forney Road out in the Walmart area, so it's, what's that?
It's over by Walmart.
It's over by
Everybody
Walmart.
knows Walmart.
Yeah, so it's a great place if you want to show your art and be part of the studio tour.
Call
Patty's
me.
got space.
And Weber Creek runs right through her property. It's
Oh,
beautiful.
it's beautiful. And
Beautiful.
we should use it for, she was just talking about using it for a paint out or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, if the paint out group wants to come and there's a restroom and they
Yeah.
can set up their easels right there on the creek.
Okay, so if you have any questions, contact me and I'll be happy to answer them. Did I get a minute? Oh,
You didn't say that extension.
oh,
Oh, yeah.
we did decide that we wanted to encourage more people to join, and so June 1st is when we're having the cutoff time for applications. We did say it was gonna be May 1st, but we've given you another month if you wanna decide. Okay, thanks.
Hey,
Thank you, Matt. I'm thinking, wasn't it last year that the cutoff date was June 1st?
Yes,
Yeah.
we decided to move it
Move it up, yeah, entice people to get off their butts, right, and get in there. Didn't work, okay.
You said button, that's on the recording.
Fanny? Let's bring up Jerry. Jerry is going to tell us about the plein air contest coming up soon.
Yeah, so this Saturday is our first annual plein air art competition. I was looking at the list of artists and checking out where they're coming from. We have 2 artists from Loomis, one from Roseville, one from Reno, and an artist from San Rafael. So this is pretty exciting. This is open to the art community. It's not just a PAA member show, we're hosting it, but this is for the art community in our region. Our reception is from 4 to 5:30 on Saturday. We would love to have you come. You have all received an email today with the gate code. So please look at your email to get the gate code. It is at Greenstone Community, Country Community. And so would love to have you there. I have a request. Is there anybody here who would be willing to help us with the reception? It's only a matter of just making sure that there's any food platter that's empty is refilled. It would be from 3 o'clock to about 6 o'clock, so a 3-hour commitment. You're already on there. Got you down. Is anybody else who I haven't talked to would like to be willing to do that? Okay, no problem. I hope you'll come though. It should be a really fun event. you're gonna meet artists that, you know, we don't know yet, and it'll be nice to see what a plein air competition where they have to have painted the painting that day. So it should be a fun event. I hope you'll join us.
An interesting note here, we had our first international member join this last week. So we now have a member that lives in France. Just in case any of you want to go visit them, I can provide the address.
Do you have any background how they find us?
No idea, but I was like, in the event they made a mistake, I didn't want to ask.
Okay, I hope he's not offering an inheritance of $10 million.
It didn't seem to be skeevy, they just paid on PayPal, so we're all good. We got our $35.
And you know, it gives us bragging rights.
Yes, that's true.
We have international members.
That's right.
Burr. Okay. Okay, I'd like to bring up Carolyn, who's going to talk about something fun and exciting. I'm not going to tell
Now
you,
that's
I'm
scary.
going to let her tell you.
I know. She didn't tell you what I was gonna talk about. Now I can talk about anything I want. We're gonna have a yard sale at my house, May 17th, from 9 to 4. It's used and new art supplies. Some of you have already donated, but I'd like some of you to also come and check them out and buy something too, because anything that doesn't sell, I'm gonna have to haul off to the thrift store. A lot of this started out with the things that have been donated that Linnell had in her barn, and Wendy Scarlett and I went through it. We threw away all the old paint and all the junk that nobody wants, and we have some really nice stuff. We have some brand new things as well as used items. Of course, we have a lot of frames, but we also have canvases. We have 3 French easels. We have a Chinese brush painting set that is brand new. We have all kinds of different things. We have some jewelry making supplies. We have some clay, tools. Kathy.
I got tools.
We have good stuff. So even if you just want to come by and say hi and pick through it and not buy anything, that's okay. But I would love to see you. I'm right in Placerville off of El Dorado Road. Easy breezy and lots of parking. And I hope to see you there.
And all proceeds from sales go to?
That's important. No, I don't get the money. Well, the proceeds from the sales, we're going to go to our outreach program, which we give money to schools, Boys and Girls Club, different places that have art programs in El Dorado County. Okay. And doesn't that sound like great fun?
See, I promised you fun and exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an announcement, the paint out. Is Vesla still here? Okay, Vesla is here. Vesla is kind of pitch hitting for Michael Fritzy, who was going to be taking over the paint out. But Vesla's just temporary, and she's a good temporary because she's done it before. The paint out is going to be at the High Sierra Iris and Wedding Farm. I don't have the address right now, but if you want to Google it, be my guest. And it'll be Tuesday, May 13th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay? Again, High Sierra Iris and Wedding Farm. What,
I don't
Carol?
Me again, I forgot to say something because I didn't come prepared. If you have things to donate, if you have them with you today, I will meet you afterwards for the yard sale, not for the paint up. If you have things to donate and we're still taking donations, please don't bring me junk that I'm just gonna have to haul to the thrift store anyway. But I am still taking things that you'd like to clean out your art studio and pass on along to somebody who might be able to use it. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, you guys got that, right? Okay. Oh, you know, if you bring junk, you know, you just kind of shake it up a little bit. Let Carolyn freak out.
Well, you have to really ask yourself, what is junk when, you know, an assemblage artist can take that and turn it into gold, you
Dried
know?
up tubes of 40-year-old oil paint is.
Okay, I'll give you
Okay.
that.
Bingo, I agree. I agree with you, Linnell. Yeah. You know, art is in the eye of the beholder, so maybe junk. or not junk.
Well, I'm already thinking I'm gonna cut that dried up old oil paint out of a tube and make a piece of assemblage art out of it.
There you go. Well, then why didn't I just leave all that stuff in
I
your
know,
garden?
I know. You deprived me.
I have a question. Is everybody getting the newsletter? You know,
Except
Sue,
Claudia Bennett, whose server rejects it. But we know that issue already.
Okay.
Is anybody not getting
There you
Okay.
go, that's a better question. Anybody that is a member.
Does anybody know of a newsletter? Is anybody not getting a newsletter?
She's not sure she's getting a newsletter.
It comes in as an email. I'm wondering if it's going to your junk.
Oh, I check that every day.
You would know. I mean, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant newsletter.
If you're not getting it, the best thing to do is to email editor@placervillearts.com, and she can look up and see if you're getting it or if it's bouncing. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the best thing.
Edit. You got
Editor.
it?
In order to find out today's, we had a meeting today, I went PA8 and I saw a newsletter there, but I didn't get anything before that.
Because a lot of these announcements come from the newsletter.
Right.
And I just bring them to your attention, you know, in these meetings. But I do want to bring up the honeycomb panels, because the coordinator, the national coordinator, I like that. Is it national? National coordinator, Candace Garlock, is going to be here for our June 16th meeting to collect all of the panels. However, if your panels are ready to go, you can bring them to the May meeting, because Linnell wants to store them.
I know nothing about bringing your panels to the May meeting. All I know is that they could send me a photo and I'm gonna make a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm not the person who's doing honeycomb
I
panels.
don't think we're supposed to be bringing them till June.
It said in the newsletter, because I wrote it. I
Okay,
read
I'm
it
going to
down.
look at it now and see what it says.
And I am bringing my panel on to the May meeting because I can't make it in June, I'm not here.
Okay.
And I was told by the girl who's doing this that I could.
But that's
Yeah, it's
editor
in-
at
So she
placervillearts.com.
said she would take it that day.
It's,
So,
it's,
I'll
yeah,
make sure
it's
that-
in the
Take a
newsletter.
photo of it first though, because we're gonna
I
do
already
it.
sent her.
Okay, all right.
Okay, it says if done, bring to the May 19th meeting.
Okay,
But
that's
that-
to, that's to
Sue.
Sue, not to Linnell.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Sue.
There
Okay,
we
we'll
go.
take Linnell out of the picture.
Please.
Okay.
I'm just the one that
Are
had to
you- are
wire
you-
them all, so
are
you
you-
would put the points at the top.
Are you checking to see that that is indeed in the email, or in the
No, I
newsletter?
believe it, if,
Well, I talked to Sue directly.
yeah,
Okay.
if Terry
I
knows,
emailed
we're
her
good.
Because I'm not gonna be
Okay.
here in June, so.
Yeah, and
Wish I
so
was,
Sue
but-
probably put that in, okay.
I don't know.
Okay, then I was gonna say, if you have questions, contact Sue, but that already happened, okay. The county fair is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and there's no signups yet, so, you know, chill your jets. You don't have to worry about that, but the fair is from June 12th to the 15th. And Linnell is heading it up, she chairs that. And she's going to be later soliciting help, so think about that later, but not now.
But you
Okay?
have to enter the fair by the middle of May. It's a very early deadline. There are fair booklets right up here on the front desk. Take them today if you want them. Kathy will show you what that looks like. There's entry forms in the middle. You can enter online. If you have problems with your entry, you can go to the fair office and they'll help you out. But we encourage you to enter fine art, photography. Fine art includes 3D sculpture, assemblage work, and this year, very exciting, the adult division is also going to host the 14 and up fine art entries. So we're going to get youth entries, and the fair director is giving 2 $500 scholarships to the youth entries.
Did they give us more walls? Did they give us more walls?
No, and I'm probably not going to be able to have my vanity wall this year, unfortunately, but you know, you have to give up some things in life.
But there's a whole stack right here on the table, so it's fun, and you know, Why not?
And I will be begging for volunteers at the next member meeting. So, and by then there'll be a whole matrix up of when you can sign up and help.
Another note, the membership is at 160 members. That is really good because last year at this time we were 136. Woohoo! Woohoo on all of us. We have a diamond celebration, 60 years, coming up in November. But I'm not going to talk about that because, you know, that's in November, okay? I dropped
That means
the
we're
board.
60 years old, in case those of you who don't know or didn't make it to that diamond wedding anniversary.
The green room. The green room, I've never been, but I've heard, I think they do a lot for the homeless. Is that right?
No, the Green Room is a social club and venue that supports local arts and artists. A lot of live music, live bands. It's a restaurant.
Where did I get
Very,
homeless?
You're thinking of,
very friendly, community friendly.
Okay, okay, and what they would like for you to think about is to donate some of your art so that they can auction it off and raise money for themselves to continue doing the great work that they do.
Or it could be a fundraiser for the Downtown Community Merchants Association to put on more events. But ask this guy when you call him with your donation sooner rather than later, because he wanted them by yesterday.
Okay, and I can, if you're interested, I can tell you his name and give you his phone number. Or I can leave it up here at the desk, and if you're interested, he's the bottom guy. Alan Ming with a 916 phone number, okay? So if you're interested. You should think about it, because getting your art out before the public, you know, even though you aren't going to be paid for it, but you're getting your name out there. And people are going, ooh, wow. You know, I donated a lot to the KVIE art auction, and I got a lot of commissions from it. Because they couldn't bid on it because it was already bidded and gone. So, you know, you think about that, okay? It's free publicity for the cost of your art. Okay. I think that's it. Okay, so now we're going to do our challenge.
Oh wait, there's one more thing.
I knew I was going to ask
It's
her.
in your hand.
Oh, yeah. It's in my hand. It's it's in my hand. The barn sale. And I tell you, Linnell is big on the barn sale because she's got a barn and it's full of art. So the barn sale is September 12th to the 14th. And there's a kickoff on Friday. Is the kickoff at your barn?
It's everybody that's on the barn trail, and there'll be probably 8 or 9 venues spanning from Highway 80 down to Amador. And this is mostly vintage stuff, but I get on the barn tour because my barn has art and vintage items and some collectibles, and so it's for me a better place to show my work, unfortunately, than the art tour venue, because in my art barn I have over 30 artists represented, including several in this room with their work. So it doesn't fit real well for art tour, but if you're interested in coming and seeing Linnell's art barn, it will be open for this event.
And there's a QR code.
That'll show you the various
that you
locations.
can scan, and it would give you all the information. That's going to be up here with Alan Ming, okay? Alan Ming is with what? That's a test. Yay! Okay. That was a test you passed. Well, some of you did. Okay, so that's up here too.
Thank you, Kathy.
It was in my hand. Okay. All right, here we go. And remember, this is before we do the drawing for the flowers. Okay, This is Let the Light Emerge Challenge. And we've got 4 of you who are sharing. And let's go with the first one. See, sharing, it sounds like Sherry. And yeah, I said sharing, and Sherry's just stood right up.
Well, already told me that I was first.
Okay, you have to talk into the mic.
And you have to show your image to the camera, so that should be fun,
Is
huh?
that, it's small, so can you see it?
Oh, look at that.
It's feeding, yeah, it was baptism,
Well,
so.
right,
Yeah.
but the same.
But yeah, because like people get baptized on Easter, so that was when we did, Carolyn's the one told me that this was good for the challenge.
It's very, let the light emerge.
Yeah,
Yes.
so.
Very nice.
Get that?
Very nice. Okay, how about Carolyn?
Oh, God. You guys are gonna be so sick of me,
No, you're too short.
There?
Oh.
Okay, it's not so much as the light emerging, but I feel like I'm about to emerge from that lovely shaded path into the hot, blazing tropical Hawaiian sun. So
What's the medium?
it's oil.
Oil?
Nice.
And I painted it about probably 3 weeks ago. So don't touch it, it might still be wet.
I was gonna say.
There you go.
All right, very nice, Ellen.
Okay, and now we'll bring up Patty.
Something I've never tried before is just making a plate. And I have a slab roller. And I went through my old glazes that were all dried up. But to me, it looks kind of like the sun coming up.
I like it. And did you do it specifically for this challenge?
No,
Okay.
but when
It fits. It's a really good fit. And
I used an old doily.
uh-huh,
You just lay the doily on the clay
uh-huh,
and go over it again, and it
Uh-huh.
just makes the pattern.
uh-huh.
So, and I put holes in the back so I could hang it on the wall.
Nice. Nice.
I did 3 of them. This one turned out. The other 2 are.
That's ceramics for you, baby.
Oh, I know. You never know what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, that's nice. Very
So,
nice.
thank you.
And now we have Pam, who is going to share 2. You got both? Okay, good.
do. I'm new, so I didn't know how this really worked. And I saw that, I saw that we were supposed to, as new people, show off what we do, because nobody knows it, so.
There you go.
My 2 things. Most recently, I've been carving here. Well, the phone is for the illumination,
Oh.
because this is to show the light. This piece is a piece of carnelian agate, and I carved it from the back, which is called intaglio. And so the sun is carved into the back, and it shows the light through the rock. And you get the natural color of the stone as well as the pattern. I don't know, can you see that one now?
Very nice. It's looking really good on the camera, actually.
Awesome.
Yes.
So that's something new for me, is getting into the carving. The painting I've been doing for a while. So this one is a set of 1 of 3 where I painted the background with a tree, and then I added polished rocks as an accent. And in this one, it's petrified wood, and the petrified wood makes up the bark of the tree. In the second one, they are madrone trees, and the polished red rocks make up part of the bark on the trees. And then the third one are pieces of jade, and the jade makes up the canopy of the tree. So I used the rocks in 3 different parts of the trees.
Nice.
And this may not come as a surprise, but Pam manages the Rock and General exhibit at the Rock and Gem exhibit at the county fair, and so we share the organ room
So one of my
together.
big things, yes, is trying to figure out with the Nell system is where my pieces fit in. Are they two-dimensional art, three-dimensional art, or are they best in the mining and gem section?
And Kathy, we have at least one visitor in the room.
Oh, now we're gonna
Well,
introduce visitors, huh?
We have at least one visitor in the room.
Okay, should I guess who?
It's not me.
Would the real visitor in the room please stand up? It's Bonnie. And
Yes.
Bonnie, unfortunately, if you talk, it doesn't come out on the video. But I did meet Bonnie, and guess what? She sculpts. Yay!
Yeah!
With clay in a kiln. Yay! So, thank you. Thank you for coming. We'd love to have you. Okay.
And here we'll just put Bonnie on camera for a minute, so those of you who have not met her have a chance to see her. Welcome, Bonnie.
There's Bonnie. Okay, one last little chore, and I'll be right back. Okay. Oh. Okay, we are going to, it's not a raffle. So, United States of America, we're not doing a raffle, it's okay, or the county of
They didn't have to
Eldorado.
pay.
Yeah,
It's not a raffle.
No pay, no raffle. It's a pick. There we go, it's a pick.
Giveaway.
There you go. Okay, we have two bouquets to give away. And so we need to have two numbers, but we're going to do one number at a time. So I would, Bonnie, because you're our guest, would you pick a number, one number, between 1 and 21?
8.
8. Sue. Sue Davis. Okay, Sue, there are two, and you get your choice. And I will say that Sue picked the vase, or vase, that Carolyn brought.
Careful, Carolyn put poison ivy in that.
Thank you, Carolyn.
Where'd you get the poison ivy?
East Coast.
Okay, we've got one more number, and Pam, would you like to pick a number between 1 and 21, but don't pick 8, and apparently don't pick 4.
Why? Because that's not.
Carolyn should have signed in at number 4, and no, I'm not going to tell you.
What did I sign in?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
I think there's not a number 4.
Oh, there's no number 4.
There's not a number 4. So,
20.
20. That's really good.
Can you read it?
I cannot read it. It's one of those artistic signatures. Does anybody know who signed?
Here, put it in front of the camera. Let's zoom in and get the culprit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not even
There, get close.
number 20.
Oh, it's the very last person?
Is that Jerry? Who is that?
Is that Lori?
Let me see it.
Laurie's 19.
Let me see it.
Who
Yeah,
admits?
Lori's 19.
Who admits to being number?
Starts with a G.
Who admits to being number 20?
20?
I think they might have laughed.
Yeah, number 20. Lori's 19. What, you don't like flowers?
Jerry, were you
Is it-
sleeping?
Is it? Is that how you sign the checks? Oh my God!
Okay, Jerry. Jerry, you can pick a bouquet. Oh, look, you can have that one. Okay, guys, another fun time coming to an end. Okay,
If you have things to give me for donations, I'm going to pull my car up into the loading zone out front.
Yes.
And I'm going to do that now.
That sounds good. And
And
again,
then you'll
I
come
want
back to me?
I want to thank Donna and Carolyn for the beautiful bouquets. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, thank
Can you
you.
tell me who won the People's Choice at the membership show?
Richard,
Niederloh.
Niederloh, Hoff, Richard, and Carolyn, what was the name of the piece that won? Carolyn, which piece, what was the name of the piece that won at the People's Choice at the member show?
Anticipation.
Anticipation.
Yes, it was the koi, the native acrylic koi.
Oh, the koi.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah.